Hey, thanks for hanging out today. Love Them Knives channel, LTK here. We're going to talk about, well, the Spyderco Sprint Run PPT. Hey guys, here we are. Once again, Spyderco made this knife in G10, but that's not this one. They made this knife with S30VN steel blade, but that's not this one. This one's not CPM S30V, it's CPM S90V. This is not G10, this is carbon fiber. This is the Sprint Run of the PPT that they had previously put out. Now, I call this a frame lock knife because these carbon fiber scales are very, they're kind of pretty thin, just kind of laid over this steel frame. Now, this Sprint Run knife, and they come with this lanyard, by the way. I didn't just throw this on for effect. It comes that way, which is kind of cool. In fact, this is on bronze washers on the pivot. And you can Spidey flick it, but it don't drop. This one's still pretty stiff. So, yeah, nothing like that. It's not like the PM2 or something. It doesn't drop like that. Where's my PM? Here's the PM2 compression lock. It doesn't do that, okay? Nothing like that. This, super easy to Spidey flick, all that kind of stuff. This is not like that at all. This is much more stiff. And of course, I haven't had it that long. So how much will it loosen up with these bronze washers? How much smoother will it get? Only time will tell, my friend. Only time will tell. Fred Perrin, P-E-R-R-I-N, maybe it's Fred Perrin, but he's French, knife designer. He and two other French dudes. Did you like my very precise description? They designed this knife. So they pretty much call it the PPT, which is the first initials of their last name, which somewhere in here. Fred Perrin, Philippe Perratti, I guess, and Sacha Thiel. I don't know. But this is their design, and you can pause and read this, and, this gives you kind of the stats, 7.3, 7.4 overall, a little over 3-inch blade, cutting edge 2.7, clip point, flat grind, satin, handles 4¼ inch, carbon fiber, 5.3 ounces, that's a chunk of change, isn't it? For a small knife. It's not a real big knife. Got the Spidey hole on it. So I was wondering if you would mind if I completely destroy this knife. Not like physically, but just trash it like a dog on this channel. Because the more time I've spent with this knife and looked at the design, the more I thought, why? Why ask why? And maybe you should ask why. Okay, so the ergos, are they good? Yeah, the ergos are good. You can go forward here. Then you've got this jimping out here. For this. Now you have no jimping. Now you have jimping again. Well, you have jimping again because you got this. And will the knife be a knife? Ooh, okay. Maybe it will. Just like that. Okay. So, CPM S90V, pretty cool. How important is that from the $150 they charged for the G10 model to the $220 something that they charge for this? So another, what, $70, $80. CPM S30, CPM S90. It's not M390. How big a deal is that? Means nothing to me, actually, tell you the truth. Actually, I wouldn't mind having this in G10, except it's kind of gone now, discontinued, or I haven't seen it around. Catch one on eBay here or there. Really strange how the symmetry works back here, right? So look at the liners. I mean, first of all, these are steel liners. Come here. Okay, so this is steel, and everything's steel. So why didn't you go titanium? I mean, it's 5-point-something ounces. I'm in the middle of trashing something here. Whatever. Okay, 137, about 138, and 4.5. So I lift this up. Well, I'm only coming up with 4.85. So it's not 5 ounces. Where did I read 5 ounces? Who is the fool that told me? Yeah, 5.3 according to Blade HQ. I'm not getting that. 4.8 something. In any case, well, let's look at White Mountain, because you can get it for 10% off there, and they have it in stock. I like this knife. I like the design really well. I do. I like this sculpted carbon fiber. I'm not really crazy about it being a steel frame, but it's pretty structural, and the lockup is real heavy, way over 50%, or at least 50 to 60. But there's some issues. Deep carry pocket clip, right? But can you reverse it? No, you can't. See? Otherwise, you'd have had to mill a flat spot here, and then you could flip it around. Maybe. Do they have a... Well, they're saying 5.3. Is there something wrong with my scales? Come on, man. Let's do this again, because I don't believe it. It's like the liberal media. Okay, come on. I kid you not. Okay, the Para 2 is 3.8. So let's compare. My scales are right. Okay. Okay, so this ain't 5.3. This is 4.8 something. Maybe that's the old G10 model. I don't know. In any case, since they lightened it up with the carbon fiber, but this is White Mountain Knives for the sprint run. Okay, so you can get it 10% off. So, okay, about $200 even then. Maybe. And here's the description part of the pause and read for you can get the total layout, which I already gave you with the other. Really giving Fred a lot more of the press than anybody else. And you get it in this box, by the way, before I get too heavy into my trashing of it. And you get, here's the congratulations on the PPT limited edition. There you go. The different designers, originally released in 2010. 8 years ago. There you go, the Reeve integral lock, and blah, 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 S90V. Extraordinary. It's extraordinaire. In any case, so I met Fred at the, did I tell you that? At the SHOT Show, 2018 SHOT Show. I ran into him, didn't know who the hell he was. You might not know him if you saw him either. And I didn't know the name because I wasn't familiar with the PPT, and I hadn't really ever run into his other knives, which he's designed and done collaboratives with other knife manufacturers. You know what? I might tack on to the end of this. I got a little video clip of him in the 2018 SHOT Show showing off a little ring type knife that he designed. It was a little limited edition. This was back in January 2018. I think I'll tack that onto the end of this video so you can see him, what he looks like, and try and figure out his French. Because well, he speaks English, and he speaks better English than I speak French, n'est-ce pas? So there you go. In any case, here's the deal. Like the design. I like this lanyard thing. I think it goes great with this knife. I'm just saying, why didn't you put titanium on here? And what is this all about? I mean, look at the thickness difference, you know, between here. I didn't really mean to do that, but 3.8 to what is this? 4.1. I mean, that is funky, isn't it? The thickness of this. Now, this ends up being the lock bar, okay? So, yeah, maybe they wanted it ultra heavy, but then they didn't want to continue that heaviness through here. But you know what? I think they could have made this lock bar not as thick as this. I think they could have made it that thin. The steel liner, wow. The steel, I mean backspacer, adds a lot of weight. Deep carry pocket clip, I like. I'm happy with it. I'm right-handed, so that works for me. But look at the carbon fiber. Okay, look at the carbon fiber. Just let's see this pass through here to this lock bar on the other side. Now look at the lock bar on the other side. Is it necessary to expose that much of that lock bar? Do you think? I don't think it is. So I think they could have kept the carbon fiber like this. And then, you know, keep it like that. And then when it comes down to this pass through, maybe give it a little bit here. You know, I mean, you don't need to keep it here. You could take all this material out and maybe just keep a 1/16 or something. Maybe put a little bit of jimping in there, but it just looks funky to me. You've got all this bare frame locking looking thing, but I mean, you got this carbon fiber on here. I don't get this, and I don't know that you need that either. Let's look at something like this. There's a liner lock right here. And yes, there's a little difference here. So it gives you a pass through. Okay? I mean, I guess I'm not getting it. Because these are big old thick steel liners as well. Big old backspacer, all that. And this is a heavy knife. But I'm just saying, you don't have to. You can match that G10 on both sides. And I think they could have matched the carbon fiber on both sides and it would have been a better look. This kind of looks, what the hell, like moonscape, like the glaciers melting away from the rock or something. It's like, what happened? I don't get that. And I don't get why it's not titanium, you know? And if you're going to have a liner, oh, still stiff. If you're going to have a liner that's that thick, then hell, you got room to put in a little hardened steel insert in there. So, I mean, you could do that. And titanium would lighten this way up because this is a smaller knife, you know? This is not a big, huge knife. Like I said, 3-inch blade, right? A little over 3 1/8. And so that's 78 millimeters, maybe somewhere in there. Get 80 at best, and 7 3/8, coming up on 19 centimeters. Now, is it a fatty? Let's get across some of these things. 14.3, 0.56 blade stock. 0.11, that doesn't look all that heavy. 2.8, you think? Let's try and get a better grab on that with something that'll give me a little bit more readout. Yeah, it is about 3 millimeter. Son of a gun. Okay, so the blade stock is not overly heavy. Can I ask you another question? Why can't we ever get a sharpening choil on a Spyderco knife? You know? Right? We can't ever get a sharpening choil on a Spyderco knife. And why do they grind up and then leave about a 1/2 inch like unfinished on the blade. I don't see that here. Why don't we get a plunge that comes back further? You know, like normal knives. Like normal knives. Where's a Benchmade? Let me see if we destroyed that. See? I mean, hello? We've ground right up here. How come we got to have like 1.5 miles of unground blade here when we could have taken this whole thing back here and then we would have had a choil? I don't know. I mean, I'm not digging that. I mean, Benchmade, they're not idiots, right? I mean, they got a choil here. I don't know, whatever. Just, it's like all kinds of crazy. Sharpening choil. Hello. You know? And all this, I don't know why they do that. That's just weird to me. And I guess if you get into some cutting tasks, I mean, you've got to pull back because you can't use the whole blade because you're going to hammer through whatever you're going to hammer through. It's not exactly the most symmetrical grind there either, is it? I don't know. It's just, there's so much to like about it. I love the design. I love the way it feels in your hand. You can go forward on it. You can really get up on this. But I don't know why they did the sprint run or even the G10 model like this. And so I guess I'm a complete clueless dumbass. And so you guys can tell me why this had to be like this. Because I'd cut the hell out of this. I'd bring that carbon fiber up, give it a better look, make this titanium, put a little hardened steel insert on there. I'd probably put bearings on this thing so it'd have a drop. I mean, come on, I'm paying $227 for this thing. Give me a break. I can barely Spidey flick it. Barely. And I know these bronze washers will break in over time. So, I don't know. I'm not trying to say that's a huge beef. But come on, bring this grind back here. Give me a choil. Do something. What the hell's going on here? I don't know. I guess that's my general beef with Spyderco anyhow. It's like, bring me back here. Give me a choil. I don't know. I mean, hey, why don't we just grind it back to here and then we'll just leave it, unground all the way back. I mean, just give me that much. Really? Really? You got a blade on here. Whatever. But this really looks awkward being this far out. Hold on. At least here, you're almost past the circle, the hole. Here, you're at the front of the Spidey hole. Does that look weird as shit to you? It looks weird to me. It looks weird. I don't know, because I'm kind of disappointed. I saw Fred with this knife, and he showed it to me at the show, although I wasn't filming him showing it to me then. But, and I don't know if it was the G10 or the CF one that he had. But cool guy. I'll throw the little blurb that I had on the end just so you can see who he is and that kind of stuff. And you can look up the other Fred Perrin knives, that collaborative stuff and the designs he's done online. Little cool little knives and different things that he's done. But yeah. It's a lot, it's kind of crazy how you get these designs and then the execution of this. I mean, did he really design this blade to only get ground this far, or was this Spyderco's decision? Because, see, I would have taken it back. I'd have left a sharpening choil here. I mean, would that have been that tough? I see every other knife being able to do that. Just not a whole lot here except just regular old hardware. Cap screws, not machine screws. Why not machine screws? Why not titanium? Why not make this symmetrical here? I don't know why we're going thick and then thin and off-centering that whole deal. Am I grumpy? Am I old? I'm old and grumpy. Damn it. I'm supposed to be. I'm old enough to be a grump. So there you go. There's a model number. Shit, fire boys. Whatever. I'd be happier if it was 150 in this iteration, but the G10's 150. Which, you know what? You know, if I can get it cheap enough, I forgive all this and just use it, just carry it and as a user knife because it's nice and so. But it's kind of heavy for small. It's kind of heavy for small. So that's an issue too, which would have been solved with making this thinner and making it titanium. Put some bearings in here. Let this thing drop. Let this thing drop. See, over time, this will get smoother, but still, come on, man. Seriously? Oh, well. Whatever. Take care, my friends. I'm going to let you go. Who says I never don't like a knife? I mean, there's a lot of things. You know, I don't know if I've ever had a knife that I just hated everything about, but there's definitely quite a few points that I just wonder about. Don't you ever wonder? I do. I have those moments of like, what the hell? I mean, I'm not a knife maker. I'm not a knife designer, but even I can see that. Oh, well, I mean, you know, hey, tell me what you think in the comments section, whether you think, yeah, I've had these knives before and looked at them and gone, what the hell, tip down only? Or what the hell? How did you do that grind? Or why did you think about that? Or how come you did the frame like this? Or, you know, the lock like that? Or, you know, just different configurations that the whole design was wonderful, but then they just threw about 3 little bugs in there to just screw it up and turn you off. I guess I do need a beer. Flanagan, you're buying, buddy. All right, I'm going to let you go. Take care. Shit. Take care. You know what we do. We love them knives, so you guys, you stay sharp. And Fred Perrin, up next. Okay, we're going to look at a brand new knife. Tell us about it.
Yeah, hello, my name is Fred Perrin. I'm French knife maker and knife designer. I'm talking about one of my design product by Max Knife, a French factory brand. It's a folders. The name is Grip Shark. It's the same handle to the grip for a good grip and the same blade to the shark. It's a warm cliff blade. You have an oil for put your fingers. In fact, it's a big vise and close. It's carry with the shift. You take it, you open. You have a friction folders knife. It's totally legal. You carry in any country. And it's a G10 with toxification for the handle. And this way you show me much. And the hub is a chisel ground, is 440C stainless steel. Normally you carry or in a pocket or neck carry, you take and just you open. The big advantage of the ring is you don't lose your knife. You have a possibility to work for cuts, for example, tape or cardboard, and you don't lose your knife.
Yeah. So easy to open, close, put your finger right through the main opening hole, you got it.
Yeah, and it's possible you twist more for more pressure on the blade, but I like very smooth.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's limited production to 700 pieces, and it's produced by Max Knife and designed by me.
Wonderful. Well, I'll have to get one and put it on my channel.
Yeah.
And you're on anyhow. So, good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for showing us that.